Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome back to another live presentation on playing the Gaijin market. Not a lot has changed in theory from my last playing the market video from the previous event. I don't think I did it on the most recent event where you could get a hold of the P59, but I did one for the Merkava. It's still going for a fairly high price, as you see here, so it's held its value fairly nicely. But one thing I've noticed is the top tier vehicles for this event are going for a little bit lower as well. You can pick up the Albal for under 30 bucks, which is just incredible considering what the Albal is, a high tier premium vehicle with a decent playstyle, although it does fall prey to a lot of the powerhouses of high tier, but that's a conversation for another time. So welcome to the Gaijin Marketplace. Before we get into how to make money on the Gaijin Marketplace, I started with about 2 Gaijin bucks before this event, and I've sold things to get myself up to this amount, and that has been with a minimum amount of effort that I'll describe later. But if you're looking to play the market, there's virtually no limit to the amount that you can make off of this. That's only held down to your judgment, your attentiveness, and how often things are trading hands. And we'll get into that again in the bulk of this video. But to start things off, let's take a look at some of the primary offerings for the market currently. Reasons for that grind. The MBK 161 going for under 4 Gaijin bucks. That's $4 US. That is an incredible deal. It's not an especially effective naval vessel, but 4 bucks is pocket change. Moving on again, the Albal, very cheap. The VT-12 selling for, well, being offered for around $63. I'm just going to call them dollars. And yet, if you look, what people are actually willing to pay is closer to 50, the low 60s at best. But 5607, I think it was going for 57 when I sold mine earlier today, and it is going for more than the helicopter, at least a few minutes ago, by 1 or 2 bucks. So what else? The Whirlwind P9, again, it's 4 bucks. You might as well pick this up. It's a decent aircraft. It's a straight upgrade over the regular Tech Tree variant. It's a premium, and it's a little bit different than other aircraft that you'll fly in the British line. So again, if you're interested in picking up a premium aircraft, 4 bucks is very cheap, and you could pick up most of the cheaper vehicles here for very little effort. So I'll skip over most of that, but the P59 going for 20 bucks, very cheap. As I mentioned, the Merkava is still pretty high. The VFW is a fantastic 5.7, worth the $21 price tag if that's something that you're really interested in. It's not game breaking, but it is quite powerful, and again, it stands out. As far as the lightly armored German tank destroyer line goes, the VFW is right at the top in terms of effectiveness, and I think it's pretty easy to make that statement, even with some of the clear weaknesses that it has. But let's move on a little bit faster here. BT-7F-32, this is a must-have at $5. Very worth it. It's an incredibly mobile scout in the Soviet line, and it packs enough firepower to be effective as a flanker, even at top tier. What else do we have? The Udachi, under 25 bucks. This is cheaper than you would pay if you wanted to buy a pack to get access to something similar. So again, that's a good deal. The Tiger Cat, still very expensive, and most of these prices come down to supply and demand. The last thing that I'll mention specifically is the BF-110C6. If you don't have this fantastic ground attacker multi-role version of the BF-110 that's so familiar to German players, I really recommend you pick it up. I'm a big fan of the BF-110 in general, and the C6 is not the best 110, but it sits at a very comfortable battle rating, and it has some distinctive features that make it a lot of fun to play. Under $4. I mean, you just can't go wrong. That's you can get indigestion at McDonald's for a higher price than that, so you might as well. The Harpoon going for $100, and yet that might change soon. So, looking at these prices, this is all entirely based on supply and demand. Cerblinda, not hugely in demand, but almost no supply. So the price you see here, let's look at this real quick. The price that it's being offered for is far above the $100 that someone's actually willing to pay for it. So that's something to keep in mind. The price you see on the marketplace is the offering price, and that's the price that no one is currently willing to pay. $670 for the River Glass. I think I saw this go for a little bit less earlier. So to get a little bit more, yes indeed, the price has gone up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, in between $5 and almost $7. So there's just a little bit of profit to be made off of this on a regular basis. Day to day, you could make about a 20 or 30 cents profit a few times a day on this vehicle alone, and that's where I introduced the concept of this video, which is playing the market. Let's look at something that's a little bit more stagnated, the Cerblinda. So, here's the order count. It has not been growing. And look at the price chart for this vehicle. Initially 140, spiking up to 160 in the past few days, and selling between 112 and 100 in the mid 160s over the course of about a week. So, is that right? Yeah. So you could make, potentially, if you buy low at 120, let's say, just to keep things fair, then sell high at, let's say, around 150. Again, maybe you don't hit that top spike. You've made 30 Gaijin coins minus the 15% that Gaijin takes off of the top of all sales, rounded up, by the way. So let's just get our handy dandy calculator out here, and 0.15, where's my little times symbol? 15, wait, we made $30, right? 0.15 times 30, so they're going to take 450. I should have just done, this is faster. We'll just do 0.85 times 30, and that's your margin. So you made $25.50 over the course of about a week. Okay, that's one way to play the market. So your initial investment is around 120 Gaijin coins. We could work our way up there. That's the buy-in price to play this game. And over the course of a week, you track the going rate, or you just list it for let's say 150. And over the course of a week, you make maybe $30. But maybe the price keeps going down because demand goes down. See, someone sold it for 105 here, so maybe you pick it up for even less. But that's the way to play on a low activity item. So these are usually the things that people look at to go, wow, this is how I can really make money in War Thunder. But that's about $30 a week playing that game, if the price continues to fluctuate. And again, looking at this chart, there's no guarantee here. You need to at least make 15% profit, otherwise you're not making any money at all. Because again, Gaijin takes that 15%. So, $30 a week selling AMX50 Cerblindas with a buy-in price of around 100 Gaijin coins. It's too high right now. It's not a good time to buy. What about the KV-1B? I've seen this go for higher than 110, so is now a good time to buy? How to play the market. These prices are fluctuating. One of them sold for 80. No, two of them sold for 80 Gaijin coins. It's currently going for 110, and that's a price it sold for 2 days ago. So, and it looks like with this rate of fluctuation, this is actually a fairly low point for the KV-1B, a vehicle that is still in high demand. People are paying for this vehicle. So if you have around 80, 85 Gaijin coins, this price could stick around. Let's see, what's it going for now? Almost 120 with offerings of 60. Yeah, fat chance. Nobody's gonna sell that for 65 right now. That's half of its value. So you could list for around 90 and see if you could pick one up and then sell for 120 for a little bit of a profit. But your margin's getting a little bit more thin here, although you are seeing a bit more fluctuation with this one. Although the dips are fairly significant here, around 87, 90. This must be people that are selling low just because they want to free up those funds. And sorry if this seems a little bit confusing, but basically, you can look at the price chart for something and get a feel for where the value of that thing is. It tends to be at around an average of 120 Gaijin coins for the KV-1B. Events will see these prices fluctuate quite a bit because market activity goes up, and with more activity, people want to free up Gaijin coin to spend on other things like the event or to invest in things whose prices are fluctuating. So look at this time where it spiked way back there at 180 and dipped as low as 85 shortly after that. So again, this does fluctuate. Buy low, you could put an offer for 90 on this one and then put a sale offer for 120, 130, and possibly sell it at that price within under a week. Let's say you could do that twice a week. You'd be sitting at a similar profit to playing with the AMX50 Cerblinda. So let's talk about penny stocks. So we've been looking at vehicles and looking at the higher price vehicles. Let's look actually at the problem with the lower price vehicles I'll show you. So this is a pretty new vehicle. Its initial value was around 20 bucks. Somebody bought it, and then its true value started to become apparent as the market got saturated with supply and demand doesn't increase. It's really stagnating at 350. Under 4 Gaijin and not dropping much. This is not a vehicle you can play the market with. It'll probably stick at around 4 Gaijin coins for the extent of its career because it's not really desirable and it's in high supply. So let's talk about penny stocks. This is the way to make money without starting with 100 Gaijin coins, and this is something you can do right now. Let's look at components for the event. And of course, this is only going to last for the duration of the event, but you can buy your way up into some higher things that should continue to fluctuate in value. And we've looked at those. The KV-1B is a good example. Pick up a couple of those and sell on a 30, 40%, well, about a 30% profit margin is probably reasonable. Buy for 80, sell for 110, somewhere around there. You'll probably be able to make a consistent amount of money over time. So getting into playing the market, penny stocks, this is more risky, and with that added risk comes more opportunity for profit, as I'll show you here. Let's look at steel. So these components are going to be valueless soon, and nobody's buying steel right now. Let's see, actually a lot of people are buying for 10 cents. A few are listing for 11 and more. This is a dead stock. Look at this. The value started at around 31 and it's really hovered at 10 or 11. There's zero profit margin in this because again, Gaijin's going to take 1 or 2 cents, actually 2 cents off of each sale up until you get into around 30 cents of value, which is never going to hit 30 cents. So this is dead. There's no way to play the market with steel. You can sell steel to make a few cents, but that's the best you can do. Buying steel for the event is a great idea. It's cheap, it's way faster than grinding it out in the game, and you can sell things like sealing and insulation materials. This is one I've seen fluctuate a bit. So you can see we have 12 buy orders at 19 cents. So people are buying this at 19 and people are selling at 20 right now. So this is really worth 19 cents. People are paying 19 cents for this all day. and the price fluctuation in between 19 and 20. So this is actually a tough one. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused here. It was going for more. It is worth more than steel, and there's a little bit of fluctuation. 19, 20, 21. So if you can afford to pick this up at 19, you do have a chance of selling this for around 23, but it's not going to be so easy. You see a lot of offers for 18 and 17, but it's being consistently bought for 19 cents. It's being consistently sold for 20 at 21 cents. No profit margin in this. You'd have to sell it for at least 23 cents to make any profit, and you can see a lot of this 23 cents offers is just sitting here not being sold, but a lot of the 21 are. So if you could pick it up for 18, you could make a penny off of this each time you sell it, and that is the definition of a penny stock. Let's look at non-ferrous materials, or non-ferrous metals. Let's see if we can make a profit off of this one. Come on, fetch that data for me. I know there's buy orders. It's selling at 11 or 12 right now. A lot of offers for 13. A lot of people buying and selling this one as they grind their way through the event. Look at that. Look at those numbers. Just thousands of transactions here. And it is another minimum value stock. Almost no fluctuation. You shouldn't pay more than 10 or 11 cents for this. So this is not a stock you could invest in. So far, not really seeing a lot of encouragement. Cast iron has a bit higher price. Has it been fluctuating? Yes, it has. 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, you could buy this at 14 and sell at 17. Again, small profits, but profits nonetheless. So there is the risk that this goes down to a 10-cent stock and you won't be able to recover your investment off of it. And of course, as soon as the event's over, these are going to be useless and you'll lose all of that. But you could play this one. And what do I mean by that? Well, first, let me check the comments. Anybody commenting? Nope. Okay. Where were we? Gaijin Market. So you can buy this at, you can see offers for 13, and then you can probably sell this for 17. So again, you'll make a couple of cents off of each one that you buy and sell that way. You could buy $10 worth of cast iron at 13. There's a lot being offered. If you offer 14 and then sell for 17, you will make a penny off of each transaction. That doesn't seem like a lot. You might have to buy 60 or so before you're making any amount of money, but it doesn't take much of an investment to get into, and the turnover rate on these is very, very high. Wood is going for a high price right now. Let's take a look at that one as a last way of looking at the basic materials. Okay, I can't click on that. That's fine. Maybe I don't even want to know. What do you do in Gaijin Market? I'm supposed to be able to click on things. Oh well, it's not working for me. But the same basic principle applies as it did before. Oh, hello. Failed. Alright, well, we'll do that later. I'm not gonna live stream me relogging in. So, same basic principle applies as the last time I talked about playing the market. The added difference now, of course, is that this is a new event. It's a new atmosphere in the market. It's a good time to play the market. So, I didn't want the vehicles that I got from the War Thunder event that I was grinding out. I actually got both the VT-1-2 double gun Panzer and the helicopter, and I sold them both. I'm just not interested in keeping a hold of those. They're not my style. I see their appeal to other people, but it's not for me. So I made around 60 Gaijin coins on the market just by playing the event and then selling things. I actually did a lot of buying to finish off my last vehicle, and again, I could play the game for 30 hours to complete the VT-1-2, or I could spend about $30 in Gaijin coins that I made from selling the helicopter to finish off the tank and make another little profit for a total, again, profit around 60 Gaijin coins from spending, I mean, I must have spent around 80 hours in this event, but I got a lot of footage out of it and I had a lot of fun. So you can sell the materials you get in the game for small profits, and the best way to make a profit on the market is to buy when prices are low, and you can set up orders already. Don't bid way lower than everybody else. Just try and make a little profit. You want to make around 30% profit, or 1 or 2 cents on the penny stocks over the 15% that Gaijin takes from every sale. You have to make more than 15%, or you're just giving money to Gaijin. Does that make sense? So make an offer for low, make an offer for just a little bit more than what Gaijin takes from you, and the more times you can do that, the more money you'll make. The big ticket items tend to have a wider profit margin, so if you're looking at the vehicles that are going for around 100 Gaijin coin, those do go down, especially during these events. That's why now is the time to play the market, when people are looking to liquidate their assets. The value on those fluctuates every day or two, between, we'll call it around 30% again. So you can make something of a profit, and that's the most simple way to do it. Invest in one of those 80, 90 Gaijin coin cost vehicles when they're at their low. Look at the price chart for them, see the history. It does fluctuate. Make an offer that's reasonable, but will give you a profit when the price goes back up again. And then offer to sell immediately. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.